Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, sit down. Do not even take your coat off yet. You are going to need a drink for this because my blood pressure is still through the roof. You remember that drama with Andy a few months back? The let's be adults and move on conversation. Well, apparently, moving on means something completely different in their dictionary. I just got back from Max's apartment. Max is my soulmate, Andy is her roommate, and I feel like I've been living in a psychological thriller. We had issues months ago, but we explicitly agreed to be friendly. I wouldn't have gone to stay there for Max's birthday if we weren't cool. But weeks before the trip, Max tells me Andy blocked me on Instagram. Weird, but I let it slide. Max even asked Andy for permission to have me over, and Andy said yes. So I'm thinking, great, we're adults. Girl, the math was not mathing. I get to the apartment, and the first time I see Andy, I look up, smile, and say, "Hey, Andy." Nothing. They looked through me like I was a ghost. They walked past me, turned to Max, and started a conversation about the trash, acting like the cushion I was sitting on was empty. I sat there frozen, thinking maybe they didn't hear me. But then 10 minutes later, I tried again. "Hi!" Just a polite greeting. Silence. Dead, cold silence. And that was just the beginning. I was at my best friend Max's apartment for her birthday, and her roommate Andy, who explicitly agreed to be friendly, was acting like I was invisible. After ignoring me twice, Andy just grabbed a water bottle, pivoted, and walked out of the room. It was so aggressive the temperature dropped 5 degrees. Because Andy didn't say, "I hate you." I figured maybe they just didn't want to talk. I thought, okay, I'll keep my distance for Max's sake. But oh my God, it gets worse. The night of the party comes. Friends and randoms start showing up. I'm trying to mingle, but I start getting these weird vibes. People are side-eyeing me. You know when you walk into a room and know you were the topic of conversation? That vibe. I found out later, and this makes my blood boil, that Andy was literally going around to strangers who do not know me and warning them about me. Yes, warning them. Like I'm some kind of unstable criminal. They were telling people to watch out but wouldn't explain why. Just vague, ominous warnings to poison the well before I even got a chance to introduce myself. Can you imagine? I'm over by the snacks eating a chip, and Andy is across the room painting me as a villain to total strangers. But I didn't know that yet. I was just trying to survive the awkwardness until the games started. We're sitting in a circle playing party games, drinks flowing. Andy is there, radiating ice-cold energy. Every time I spoke, Andy checked their phone. If I asked a question, Andy answered the person next to me. It was petty, but I tried to be the bigger person. We got onto the topic of family, siblings, parents, normal chatter. I was trying to be inclusive and not make things awkward for Max. So I looked at Andy and asked, casually, "Oh, when is your brother's birthday again?" Girl, the music stopped. The record scratched. Andy whipped their head around, looked me dead in the eye with absolute disgust, and snapped. They practically yelled, "You don't need to know that information. Why would you even ask me that?" The room went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone stopped drinking. I felt my face go hot. I was so confused. I wasn't asking for his bank login. I asked for a birthday. I stammered. I'm sorry. I was just making conversation." Andy didn't even accept the apology. They just huffed, stood up, and stormed out of the room like a dramatic teenager in a bad soap opera. They gave me the cold shoulder for the rest of the night. But when I left and told my friend Sarah what happened, she reached out to Andy. And you are not going to believe the lie Andy told her about me. After Andy screamed at me at the party for asking about a birthday and stormed out, I left the weekend feeling like garbage. I vented to our mutual friend Sarah, who reached out to Andy to get their side. Andy told Sarah that I am obsessed with them. Obsessed. Me. Andy told Sarah that I need serious psychological help and that I overstepped their boundaries by attempting to acknowledge them at the party. Excuse me. Since when is saying, "hello," a boundary violation? Since when is asking a generic question in a group a sign of mental illness? The audacity. Andy claimed I should have known they didn't want to talk. How? We agreed to be friendly. They let me stay in the apartment. If they didn't want to interact, why not send a text beforehand? I would have respected that. Instead, they invite me in, ignore my existence, badmouth me to strangers, snap at me, and then tell people I'm the one who needs psychological help. I said hi twice. That is not obsession, that is basic manners. I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I the asshole here? Because if basic human decency is a crime now, then lock me up.